Hello.
Hi, Marvin.
Hi, how you doing?
How are you? Hi, Reba. Oh, we have more people coming in. Let me admit that. How's your week going, Marvin?
Going.
Yeah, it's good. Hey, Reba. Hi, Ellen.
Hi.
How's Tinoki?
Oh, she's doing so today. She didn't eat so
Oh,
much. Yeah.
well,
She's 13 and a half and she's getting a little older and her behavior is showing it. So, yeah.
well,
But
you
she
know who's.
slept all day.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
Where's your cat? Where's your cat?
My kitty is sleeping right now too. She maybe won't like that we're going to be a little loud, but you know
Oh,
who's 74 years old today?
yeah, I saw it. So, oh, Israel.
The state of Israel.
Right.
Yay! Yom
No, no, no,
HaAtzmaut
no, no,
Sameach,
no.
everybody.
Tomorrow. Oh,
Yes,
it's there. It's tomorrow there already.
exactly.
Because, yeah,
And
tomorrow.
it
Right.
actually starts the night before. So for us, we're going to
Right.
celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut. Hi, Granny. I think Fran is my granny. Hi, Granny
Oh,
Franny.
how nice.
Admitting we're about to start. Okay, everybody. Well, let's go ahead and give this going. Ziona's here now, so we can start. Hi, Ziona. Let's get this going. Share screen. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Stop share for a second. Okay, now we'll be ready to go. Okay. Is everyone able to see the screen now? Yeah? Okay, good. Then let's give it a start. Welcome, everybody, to the Maariv service tonight. We will be celebrating Yom HaAtzmaut in
Say hi.
Israel. Very
Say
exciting.
hi. Say,
So,
say hi. Too
we are
bad.
going to
Okay.
start with a little song. מה טוב ומנאי, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנאי, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה טוב, הנה מה טוב. יאללה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומנאים. הו הו הו. הנה מה טוב ומנאים. הנה מה טוב ומנאים. הו הו הו. הנה מה טוב ומנאים. הו הו הו. Welcome, everyone. Behold how good and pleasant and sweet it is for us to dwell together. Or, as the Rabbi Nachman of Breslev put it, let the good in me connect with the good in others until all the world is transformed through the compelling power of love. We continue, excuse me for a sec. We continue with our Baruch, our welcome to the service. We shake off the shackles of the small-mindedness that happened to us today in ourselves or in others, and we declare for everyone to hear, Baruch et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed. Bless the Eternal, blessed the Holy One. Blessed is that connection that keeps us all together, that connects us to our ancestors, to our future generations, and on forever. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who creates the mysterious time of dusk, filling the world with possibilities. In wisdom, in heaven's gates, you open them, and with understanding, you change the times and vary the seasons, and arrange the stars in the heavens according to your will. Creator of day and night, and the trembling in between time, who spreads out light before darkness, and darkness before light, who creates day and brings forth night, who separates day from night, who arrays the whole earth with glory. Holy is your name. Blessed are you for the creations that happen every day. And together we say in Hebrew, Baruch atah Adonai ha-Maariv aravim, which means, blessed are you who creates everything. And we remind ourselves that all is creation, especially right now at the Maariv, the time of dusk, when the sun is setting and we have to hold on to our faith until another day. This is when we remind ourselves of creation. Now we sing about what exactly it is we're reminding ourselves: creation and God, the everlasting and universal love that holds us all together. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah umitzvot, Chukim umishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, B'shoch beinu uvkumenu, Nasiach bechukecha, V'nismach divrei Toratecha, Uzmispotecha leolam vayed. כי חם חיינו וכורך יומנו, ובהם נגי ימם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Would anyone like to read the English translation on the right for us tonight? I'm sorry.
I will.
Sure, go ahead, Ellen.
Your love has embraced us always in wilderness and promised land, in good times and in bad. Night and day, your Torah sustains us, reviving the spirit, delighting the heart, informing the soul, opening the eyes, granting us a glimpse of eternity. Because of your love, we shall embrace Torah night and day in devotion and delight. Beloved are you, Adonai, whose Torah reflects your love.
Amen. Well read, Ellen. Please read responsively with me on the right. In the stories of our past,
you are revealed.
In the laws you gave at Mount Sinai,
you are revealed.
In the questions that we ask and the answers that we might find,
you are revealed.
In the light that burns off fog and in the darkness that swallows grief,
you are revealed.
In the questioning, the doubts and fear, and in the joy of dreams come true,
you are revealed.
In all the blessings that surround us, those seen and unseen,
you are revealed.
Blessed are you for opening our senses to all your revelations. You live in the glow of the heart. You live in the pain and the joy of life. You live when we choose life and blessing. You live in the still, small voice of conscience. You live in our unending search for truth. You live in our breath when we unite and call you one. And together we say in Hebrew, Baruch atah
Adonai
Ohev
Amo Yisrael.
Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel, and by extension all people who search for freedom in their homelands and in themselves.
Amen.
And now we get to the point of the service. We are no longer asking. We are no longer wandering. We are listening. We are listening to the call that has called our ancestors and that will call our descendants for generations to come. Would anyone like to lead us in the Shema tonight? Marvin, please go ahead.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael,
Israel,
Adonai
Adonai,
Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Marvin?
Baruch
Baruch Shem Kavod Malachus Olam Va'ed.
Baruch Shem
Shem,
Kevod Malchuto
Malkuta,
Leolam
Leolam,
Va'ed. There we are. Thank you, Marvin. And now we sing the Via Hafta. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצוותך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוקתך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Would anyone like to read the English translation of the Via Hafta for us tonight? Go for it, Ziona.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart and with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children and recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Then you will remember and observe all my mitzvot and be holy before your God. I am Adonai your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God who is truth.
And together we say in Hebrew, Adonai
Adonai
Elohechem
Elohechem Emet.
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 Nothing else but truth. Now, we know what it feels like to worship false idols. We do that almost every day in our heads when we get angry at stupid things, when we get small-minded, when we feel insecure. That's what Micha Mocha reminds of. Who is this God that we're worshiping? It's none of that. It's only everything else. It's only the big picture. So we sing together, Micha Mocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi kamocha Nedel Bakodesh, Nora Tehilot O Sefele, Nora Tehilot O Sefele. Who is like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Together we read in Hebrew, Baruch Ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufrosh aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ushmot Etzenu, Uvorenu, Baruch Ata Adonai Hapores Sukat Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael Ve'al Yerushalayim. Let us lie down, Adonai, and we will arise with strength and clear vision. Now we come to the part of our service where we do the Chatzi Kadesh. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah B'alma divra chirotei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaedachol Beit Yisrael Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, Vimeru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'alam ulal me'el maya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitpa'ar, Vitroman, Vitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemei Kudsha, Brichu, Le'elal min kol birchata v'shirata tushvechata b'nechemata damiran bi'alma v'meru. Amen. We have reached the Amidah, the standing prayer, which today, marking the 74th birthday of our native homeland's modern current state, the Amidah today is more special, I think, than it has ever been in the history of our people, because we can Omed B'Yisrael once more. We are now, again, not just spiritually, but really in our homes. But for thousands of years, that was not possible. For thousands of years, we were wandering, and we had to turn towards Jerusalem and imagine what it would be like to stand at the steps of our holy place, our native home, where our people became free. And imagine how our ancestors struggled so that we might have this chance to make meaning and love and purpose out of our lives. That is the Amidah, and we read together. Let the strength of this community and the strength of our ancestors give us the strength to search for our path back to the Blessed One. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Please, if it's your custom, stand in body or stand in spirit. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah ve'Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chasedim Tovim V'Konei Hakol V'Zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imachot U'Mevi Gelola Livnei V'Nehem Leman Shemo Be'ava Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen Baruch Ata Adonai Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaya Kol Ata Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatal Mechakel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye Hakom Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Virofe Holim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Bal Givurot Umidom Melach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lechayot hakol Baruch ata Adonai Mechaye ha'akol. Would anyone like to read the English translation of the Amidah we've read so far? Where's Ellen Friedman? Is she not here tonight? I hope she's okay. I will read it for her because this is, I know, her thing. Your strength is forever, Adonai. You give life all things, you, the great Savior. You rain dew upon us. You sustain us with kindness. With great compassion, you give life to all. You lift up the fallen. You heal the sick. You free the captives. You keep trust with those who sleep in the dirt. Who is like you, source of might? Who is like you, source of mercy? Who looks like you, the one who causes death and life and salvation to root? In compassion, you sustain the life of your children, and faithful are you who brings life to everything. Blessed are you who brings life to everything. And we are still counting those Omer. We are spiritually going between Passover, Pesach, and Shavuot when we receive the Torah. And we are walking in the desert, and we are understanding what it means to break the shackles of the prisons, of the slaveries we have found ourselves in, spiritually, physically, in every way. Today, you can use this map. We are in the third column from the left, in the fifth row down. That is the day we are on today, which is the Hod of Tiferet, Hod Shebetiferet. We can recite the blessing, and then we will go through an exercise together. For those who are keeping count, let's go start with the blessing, the second text box from the start, from the top. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sefirat haomer. And then we do the actual counting, first in Hebrew, and then we'll read the English. Hayom tisha asar yom shehem shnei shavuot v'chamisha yamim laomer. Today is 19 days, which is 2 weeks and 5 days of the Omer. And this particular week is Tiferet, which is beauty, harmony, compassion. It's that feeling of that space between strength and utter loving kindness where you can find the harmony of life. And specifically today, we're looking for how can we be humble in our ability to perceive and to feel all of that? And that can mean many different things to different people. But to Simon Jacobson at Chabad.org, he wrote this little blurb that I found really meaningful. Compassion must include humility for it not to be condescending and pretentious. Hod is recognizing that my ability to be compassionate and giving does not make me better than the recipient. It is the acknowledgement and the appreciation that by creating one who needs compassion, God gave me the gift of being able to bestow compassion. Thus, there is no place for haughtiness in compassion. Do I feel superior because I am compassionate? Do I look down at those who need my compassion? Am I humble and thankful to God for giving me the ability to have compassion for others? And Simon suggests that our exercise for the day should be express compassion in an anonymous fashion, not taking any personal credit. Now that's pretty darn hard if you ask me, because I know that when I'm compassionate, even in the back of my head, I like to give myself a little pat on the back, a little bit of a, yeah, I did something good, I think. I think I can feel better about myself now that I was compassionate. When the truth is, we don't have to feel bad about ourselves. We just have to understand that that feeling of goodness is not ours. It's that we are being a vessel for love that has existed for thousands of years. And by opening our hearts to the ability to be that vessel in that moment where compassion is needed, we are transmitting the God of all our generations to the person who needs it most in that moment. That's the mitzvah. It has nothing to do with you and your qualifications or your this or your that or your wealth or anything like that. It's about tuning into your purpose in the moment God put you in.
Rabbi, may I ask a question?
Yes, Alan, go ahead.
For the fourth row, the 25th, what is important about the 25th day?
Oh, it's the Netzach of Netzach. Those are the square days. Those are, if you see 1, 9, 7, I don't know how 17, but it should 1, 9, 25.
Perfect square.
Yeah, it makes it's the perfect square day. So for today, we're doing the Hod of Tiferet. But when we do the Hod of Hod in 2 weeks from now, that will be when it's specifically focusing on just that piece of spirituality.
Oh, but I don't see a square there. I see a 25 in a circle.
25 is 5 squared.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, this now
Thank you,
it makes
Marvin, for
sense.
putting it much more simply.
Yes.
Why ask a rabbi when you need a mathematician?
That made sense.
Exactly. So, moving on. Yay! Yom Hatzmaut Sameach, everybody. Today is the day we celebrate Israel's 74th birthday. This is a very major day. This is the recognition that God did not forget us, that God has not forgotten any indigenous group of people who has suffered through genocide and slavery, expulsion, diaspora, forced removal, and finally, after the worst of the worst, we are able to come home. And here we are, home. We are now in a period of time when Jews can return to Israel. This last 74 years is unlike the 2,000 years before them. It is a truly special time we are living in right now. And today is when we celebrate that. And I would like to, instead of giving a sermon today, I would like to give a little bit of an art analysis of one of my favorite Zionist artists on the internet, whose name, let me figure out if I can get, how do I get out of this? Here we go, is Waz Art, Alex Waz. And he takes these beautiful images of our history and makes them posters about Israel, the importance of the state of Israel. On the left, we see an image that says Chofesh, which means freedom. And underneath, the text says, may our destiny never be the will of another again. On top of that, you see some Mizrahi Jews. They look very Yemenite, perhaps. And then you see on above them in the background, a fruit, a berry that is coming ripe from a vine. And on top above that, you see an upside down tulip field, perhaps representing the false beauty of our time in Europe, the time of Europe that was over and is now it is now completely turned upside down. We don't have to be at the will of anyone else ever again. We are looking for freedom. We are looking to live. On the right, we see the same thing of Ethiopian Jews who refuse to be falasha. For thousands of years, the Ethiopians called the Jews falasha, which means the stranger, and thought of them as witches and thought they had sorcery and made them unable to own land. And there was a lot of persecution. And above there in the text, you see Am Yisrael Chai, Od Avinu Chai. We will never die. We will always survive. And the tree of life that gives birth to all the colorful birds and all of the opportunities in life, we are a branch on that tree. We are Bnei Yisrael, and we will stay strong. In the next slide, excuse me. On the left, we see a light bulb with a Magen David, and all of us standing around it. And it says, spread light. Jews, our job is to spread light. Our light is our collective strength. Fighting anti-Semitism is not the ultimate goal of the Jewish people. It is to be unapologetic Jews. Our wisdom is cosmic and our unity tantamount. We must not forget that we are not defined by our experiences in the diaspora, by our experiences today defending ourselves. We are here. The reason why we're so dangerous to all systems of oppression is because we insist on freedom, because that's how we became who we are. And finally, on the right, we have an image that says Beit Israel, the house of Israel, and you have an outline of the country, and you have text that says no more wandering, and you have someone who looks as though he's crossing through those boundaries, coming out of the ancient world of our wandering and into the fruit of our being here right now. We are alive at the time when we can go home. And it is a massive, massive blessing that we have been given. And the question is, how are we using that blessing? I'd like to give a special shout out to Alex Waz. You can find him on Instagram at Waz_art, or you can purchase his prints at alexwazart.com, ALEXWOZART.com. He's based out of Los Angeles, and he's an amazing, amazing artist. I highly recommend his work. And I wanted to open it up. Where are my Zoom people? What are we doing next? Before we sing the Hatikva, I wanted to open up our hearts to the idea that it's not impossible for us, for any people to do what we have done, for a people to come home after forced expulsion, for the people of Tibet to find their way home once the CCP is overthrown, for the Kurds to find their way back to defining their own land and their own rules for themselves once the colonial borders are redefined, for the Assyrians, another native Middle Eastern group like us, for the Amazigh people, just like us, for the Copts. There are so many native Middle Eastern peoples, and we are the only one who has been able to reclaim our homeland and to maintain the traditions and the religion associated with our experience and our journey from that land. It is an incredible honor that we have, but it's also a responsibility to stand up for those values for everyone, not just ourselves. Now, I hope you will join me in singing the Hatikva, which is this particular one. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right one. Was recorded in 1967 by the Tel Aviv Philharmonic, conducted by Leonard Bernstein. Let me make sure I got this. I want to make sure the sound is really good. Okay, here we go. Hatikva, by the way, the tune we're going to sing is not that old. It's a Romanian from the late 19th century, but the words are as eternal as the Jews themselves. And this is currently the national anthem of the State of Israel. Please join me if you like. Let me see.
Beautiful.
That gives me chills every time.
Yes, beautiful.
Wow. I don't know. I'll tell a very short story because I know we've already taken up quite a while with this. But before I became an Israeli citizen, I hiked the Shvil Israel on an American program. And that's the Israel National Trail. And on the very last day, we came to the Egyptian border. This was in 2011. And we met a group of people, mostly who had no shoes on, some of whom were wearing smashed soda bottles for shoes. And they were sitting on the side of a mountain. and they had been found by the Israeli border guard, and they were all from Darfur, and they were running away from a genocide in Darfur, and they had run, literally sometimes running on their feet to the state of Israel. If they had been caught in the Sinai, we had found out, they might have been shot on sight, they might have been sold into slavery or cut up for their organs by the Egyptian border patrol. The fact that they got to Israel means that they were going to be taken to a detention center, get a medical look at, and then they were going to be free in Tel Aviv. Not perfect lives. I have many Sudanese friends in Israel who have very difficult time with this Israeli government's very difficult, very biased treatment of them in many ways. But it is freedom and it's life compared to death. And in that moment, when I met those people on that mountain with my American backpack and my water bottle and my $500 hiking boots, I knew that my role on this planet is to be those people for another generation, because they were walking the same path that our ancestors walked, literally the same path. And my ancestors did for me what those people are doing for their children. Who knows someday when they'll be able to go back to Darfur, but on the way, they are going to search for freedom and keep their culture alive. I felt very moved to make sure that the lessons of Zionism, of Israel, of the Jewish peoplehood is not one we keep to ourselves, that we make sure to be a light to the whole world. Now with that, we can move on. Let's see. Okay, I would like us all to just regroup for a second, close our eyes if we feel like it, and take a deep inhale and a big exhale. And quiet your mind to the extent you can reach down to that part of yourself that didn't get to say what it needed to say today, that is unresolved, that has something that is weighing on you in a way that is beyond your ability to communicate with words. Give that part of yourself a loving embrace, a tender embrace, and offer a light from above to shine on that part of you in the most loving, warm, generous way possible, telling yourself you don't need to have words right now. You don't have to explain to anyone. You don't have to get validation from yourself or anyone else. That part of you that needs to speak to God the most is the part of you I would like you to pray from right now, in whatever way you find fit. We continue with Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lekol hashalom. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המבורך את עמו ישראל בשלום. We have reached the full Kaddish, which we will go through in the traditional way. יקרא ויקרא שמי רבה, ביעלמא דברך יראה וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בחיי בבית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו, Amen. Yehi shma rabba marava Yitvarach v'ishtabach v'itpa'ar v'itreman v'itnaseh v'itadar v'itale v'itala shemei dekucha brichu le'elam min kol birchata shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bi'alma v'imeru.
Amen.
Yeheshmei rabba baruch le'elam Yeheshmei baruch min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru.
Amen.
Oh, say shalom bimomav, huya say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru.
Amen.
Oh, say shalom bimromav, huya say shalom, aleinu ve'al kol
Yalkon
Yisrael
Israel.
v'imeru. Amen.
Amen.
Yay, just a snippet of it. I couldn't resist. We move on with the aleinu. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשינו כיראי הרצות, ולא שמנו כחנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורר עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר וחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We have come to our Misha Berach when we send our energy to those who need healing. I will go on the Zoom one by one and ask anyone here who has someone if you're observing a yard site, if you are currently in mourning, if you have been visited today by someone who you have lost physically but is very much present emotionally and psychologically, or if you missed the most recent Yizkor, I'm going to do that too. You can do that. You can use that time now. But this is specifically for the people who need healing. So does anyone have someone for the Misha Berach? I'll start with Marvin. Do you have someone, Marvin?
No.
I'm sorry?
I said no.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay. Reba, do you have anyone for the Misha Berach list? You're good. Ziona, anyone who needs healing?
Robot Ethel.
Robot Ethel. Ellen and Tinoki in New York?
All those who are suffering physically and emotionally, all who are homeless, animals and humans, Rabbi Galit, Siona, Tamara, Beth, Amy. Thank you.
We have some special guests tonight. I see Rabbi Karen Tashman and Rabbi Sandra Razieli is here. Hi, Rabbi Karen. Do you have anyone for the Misha Berach list?
Thank you. Sarah Miriam bat Hassel Tzvi, Chana Rachel bat Rivka.
Thank you. Sandra, Rabbi Sandra, I am counting the Omer right now with Rabbi Sandra in her movement class, and I highly recommend you take a class with her because it feels incredible to embody the Omer. Sorry for your little taking that plug, but do you have anyone for the healing list, Sandra?
I'm good, except for everyone in the world who's suffering. I can say that.
Thank you for that. Granny Franny, do you have anybody you have for your, do you want to unmute and do you have anyone who needs healing right now? No? I'm going to say for the family of Sarita Sternberg, who has recently passed, including Sandra Hefesi, I'm going to be keeping them in my heart right now. As we say, on behalf of the sick, we are grateful, O God, for the gift of life and for the healing. Oh, wait, before we do that, excuse me, I'm a little out of sorts. I have to look at my my Zoom, my Facebook and my YouTube before I miss anybody. Sharon Jaffe's here. Hi. Sharon, do you have anybody for the Misha Berach list? Doesn't look like there's anyone on that. Okay, let me look at the, here we go. Elizabeth Jones on YouTube says Tommy Jones, Menesha Gadje or Menasa Gage, and Raphael Groff. We will hold them in our hearts and wish them healing. And if I've missed anyone, I'm very, very sorry. I think that please keep them in your hearts as I read these words. We are grateful, O God, for the gift of life and for the healing powers you have implanted within your creatures. Sustain our loved ones through these days of illness, and with the courage and fortitude they need to endure weakness and pain. Help us to find ways to show our love for them, so that we may be an influence for good in their time of need. And may all who suffer illness of body and mind know that you are with them, giving them strength of spirit as they struggle to recover. May their afflictions soon be ended, and may they return in health to family and friends. And together in Hebrew we say, Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals the sick. Mi sheberach Avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Feels good to send out those healing vibes, and I hope everyone who needs healing, as Sandra said, gets it. And now we reach the time when anyone who's been, if anyone's in mourning, if anyone has been thinking of a loved one recently who has visited you, or if it's the art side of a loved one who has passed on this day and you would like to say Kaddish in their name, I will go around just as we did for the Misha Berach list, and we can give the names of our loved ones who we are remembering today. Marvin, do you have anyone for the list today?
Joseph Gruber, my father, and Frances Johnson, woman I've been was friends with for years.
Thank you, Marvin. Reba, do you have anyone for the Mourner's Kaddish? Ziona, do you have anyone for the Mourner's Kaddish?
It's not my father's yard site, but I've been thinking about him lately for whatever reason. So his name is Yisrael Ben Avram.
We remember them. Remember them. Ellen and Tinoki, do you have anyone for the list today?
Yes. All those who have nobody to say Kaddish for them, Reuben. Thank you.
We remember them. Rabbi Karen Tashman?
Yes. This week on Rosh Chodesh was my father's yort site, and I was unable to join a minyan, so I would like to be tonight. Moshe Tevia Ben Melech Susel.
We remember him. Sandra, I assume because you're not here, you might not have a name. Granny Franny? Oh, Sandra's here. Sandra, do you have anyone for the list? I think you're on mute.
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that you asked. That's really lovely.
Of course, Rabbi. Granny, anyone for the Mourner's Kaddish? Okay. We will look on the socials just real quickly. Nothing there on that, and on Sim Shalom we have Henry Wilson, and Cameron Wilson. I'm not sure if that's for the Misha Beirach list or this list, but we will remember them or we will send them healing vibes as the case is necessary. And I would like to add, it's not my mother's yard site, but I have been having dreams with my mother in it every day for the last 3 days. And she visits me very rarely, so there must be something going on. So I just want to say, hey, Mom. Here we go. Let us remember those who have transitioned to the world beyond, to eternal rest. And though these dearest of souls may no longer be with us physically, their journeys have been ever implanted on our hearts and minds. Even with the passage of time, the memory of them we cherish and hold precious. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shma Rabbah mivrach le'olam u'me'el maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kucha brichu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen.
Amen.
All souls are with you, O Sovereign. Teach us to live wisely and unselfishly, courageously and fruitfully, in truth and in understanding, in love and peace, so that our remembrance of them will be more than mere moments of regret, but rather be a catalyst for inspired living. May the names of those whose memories we cherish be for us a blessing, and may we be worthy so that those who come after us may likewise remember us for good, as we remember those who were unto us a blessing. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen.
we have come to the end of our service, and there is one more song that I would like to play. I'm very, very happy to have shared this time with all of you. Does everyone know this song? This is Ofra Haza from the 70s, and it's called Chai. And that's what I would like to leave all of you with. I would like you to chai as hard as possible, because we can. Erev Tov to everyone. Thank you for coming tonight. Does anyone have any final words before we say goodbye?
It was a most beautiful service, Rabbi, very uplifting. Thank you so much. Toda rabah.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Toda.
I'm glad you felt that way.
I
Bavakasha.
echo.
Thank you, Zion.
I
Erev
echo
Tov,
what
Zion.
Ellen said. Tada. I
Okay.
appreciate your services.
Thank you, Ziona. Rabbi Nancy wanted to be here tonight. She was going, but she had a last minute thing come up. But she will be back in 2 weeks. So if you miss Rabbi Nancy, she will be back. Don't worry. Am Israel Chai.
Elias, great to see you doing this.
Thank you, Rabbi Sandra.
Yeah.
It feels great. I'm so happy that you guys could come. I see that our little meeting got moved to here, so that's great.
Yes.
Thank you for meeting me here. Good night, everybody.
Night,
Good night.
Good night, Rabbi Karen. Bye, everybody.
Rabbi Elias. Good night, Rabbi Sandra. Good night, everyone
Good night.
else.
Good night, Marvin. Good night, Ellen. Good night, Reba. Good night, Granny.
Oh.
Shavua Tovu.